Okay, so welcome to creating your first animation and drawing in Piskel. So we're going to go through a couple of basic little videos here where I break down how I would go about doing your first sort of little animations. So we're going to build a mana potion together, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a couple of easy steps and really break it down as much as I can so that you can follow along easily. So the first thing you want to do is go up here to the top right hand corner. It says create a sprite, and you're going to click on that. And that is going to open up a new tab with your Piskel sort of working area here. So in the middle here you have your canvas. So this is where you do all your drawing. In the top right hand corner right here you have what's called your preview window. So this shows you what your Piskel actually looks like. So the first thing I want you to do is click right here on this first of these boxes. I just want you to go down to full size. Click on that because I want a full size preview of your work. You can toggle the grid on or off. I prefer to have it on, but it's not necessary. And then underneath here we have a couple of controls. One of them looks like an onion, and this is actually toggles on onion skin. Now, onion skin used to be what was used in traditional hand-drawn animation. It's a term for a type of paper that's semi-translucent, so that when you're doing your drawings and you put another sheet on top, you can still see the drawing underneath. And that's kind of the same function it has here in Piskel. It allows you to see the last frame of animation you had underneath and the frame in front of it over top. And then right beside that is your frames per second, or FPS, for those of you who are familiar with that term. I'm going to leave this at about 12 right now, but you can scrub this either way, so you can bring it all the way down to 0 if you want to just pause on a specific frame to see how it looks. And it goes all the way up to 24 frames per second. It's doubtful any of you will need to do animations that require 24 frames per second, because that is that's a lot of frames for 1 second of animation. So we're going to stick kind of to about 12 for now. Below that we have our layers palette. This is going to be very important for the organization and building of our files. Right now all we have is one layer called layer 1. The transform gives us a couple of extra tools. We'll get to those in a later lesson. And then palettes are where all the colors used in our animation are kept. So right now we have no colors because we haven't added any to our canvas, but it provides sort of a handy reference. You can go back and forth between the colors you've used as opposed to trying to refine them again. The other thing that's important right here on the side is we have a number of palettes that can pop out when you click on them, and they provide you with a couple of different options. So the first one we're going to click on is Preferences. We're going to just go to Miscellaneous. I've got my background is dark, so low contrast, and the layer opacity set at about 0.4. Maximum frames per second is FPX, and color format is hex. Grid, I've got my grid size at 1 pixel, grid spacing at 1 pixel, and I've got my grid color set as kind of that checkerboard in the background. We're not going to have tile mode on. We're going to look at that a little bit later. Next thing we're going to click on here is resize, which is this little 2 squares with an arrow. I want you to resize your drawing to 20 pixels by 20 pixels. We're going to resize it from the center point. We don't have to maintain aspect ratio. That basically just keeps the size or the dimensions the same. And we don't have any canvas content to resize either. So then we just click resize, and we've got a little bit smaller of a canvas to work on. Next thing you're going to do is click save. There is no automatic saving in Piskel, so it's really important that you constantly hit the save button to save your work. We're going to title this Mana Potion, and we're going to name it IDM20S, which is your class, and we don't have to make it public or anything. Description we don't need, and we're going to just click Save to your gallery. So once that's done, we're about ready to start working. We're going to look at these two export and import buttons a little bit later.